Guys and girls, welcome to the channel, and today, as promised, I am out on the all-new QJ SRK 125S. Now, I've done the third version, I've done the what you would call the sports bike version. This is the naked version. Very similar as far as performance specs go. So let's have a look around the usual way. Show you it from all angles so you can get a proper idea of what it looks like. Do like it at the front actually, like that light setup. Looks like it's got the same exhaust as the third version. As far as wheels and brakes go, what we've got at the front, there's a 17-inch alloy wheel, there is a disc brake, and it's got a QJMOTOR branded caliper. Same alloy wheel, another disc, and again it's a QJ branded caliper. Does have ABS as well. The lights are LEDs, so they should be nice and bright for the dark. Now, I've already said this is pretty much exactly the same as the sports bike version. So it is a 15 horsepower bike, the maximum allowed in the UK for a 125. That translates to 11 kilowatts if we're doing it that way. I would expect this bike to perform pretty much identically to the other one. I mean, we'll find out when I go for a ride shortly, but that's what I'm expecting. Seat height on this is 790 millimeters. Now, strangely, I think that's around the same as the sports bike, but this one feels smaller, and I don't know why. I feel like I've got more of a bend in my knee on this one. Comfortable, certainly, but yeah, it just feels a little bit smaller. I am liking the position a little bit more though. As you can see, back is up straight when I've got hold of the bars. The bars feel a little bit higher and a little bit wider, so it makes for a more comfortable riding position. Certainly for me, when you get on a bit in age, you don't want to be putting all that pressure on your back. You youngsters, you're fine. You won't have an issue with the sportier bikes. Us old fellas do. But this, not a problem. As I've said, nice and up straight. Pegs, nice and central as well. Yeah, feels like a nice position to be in this. I do like that actually. It is quite noticeable when you sat here that the bars are raised a lot more than the other version. Nice. This is of course a chain drive. It has only got a side stand, no center stand with this one. Seat, as I've just sat on, lovely and comfortable, very similar to the sports bike actually. The rear seat is also very similar to the sports bike version. It's not particularly big, as you can see. If I was to put my hand across, 2.5 hands across is probably all you're going to get. So it's another, if you're going on the back, small bottom required. And there are of course rear pegs for your pillion. Buttons on this one, we're just back to an industry standard horn, indicator, high, low beam and flash. Right hand side, couple of extras here. You've got your engine start, you've got your hazard warning lights, and you've got your engine cutoff. But there's also 2 additional buttons here. You've got a select and enter. So we'll have a look when we turn the screen on what they do. Another brilliant thing with these bikes, as I found with the first one I've done, they do come with USB and USB-C ports already fitted, and they're in a perfect place right in front of the bars, so you don't have wires all over the place. They're literally right opposite where you'd mount anything, so very nice. Let's have a look at the screen. Now we're talking. Now this is the screen the other bike should have had. Now the other bike, which is more expensive, and we'll talk price very shortly, but the other bike is I think it is around £500 more expensive to have like the sports fairing and stuff on it, but that comes with an LCD screen. This has got a rather nice TFT screen. As you can see, it did pop up with the black background first, so I'm guessing it is one of those that changes depending on the lighting outside. So for night time it probably changes to a black screen just to stop that glare that you get from the bright screen, which is good, to be fair. But you can see the information on here. You have got a fuel gauge, there is an engine temperature, there is a gear indicator, you've got your focal point, your central bit there is your speedo, you've got your rev counter going across the top. There is something else I've spotted, there is a tyre pressure gauge as well, so that's always good. If you do lose a bit of air in the tyre, you will be warned about it. I like that. So it's got your front tyre and your rear tyre, so it tells you what the PSI is. I like it. If I'm pressing these buttons, looking at that, it's just going through your total miles and your trip computer. And hello, if we go through this, we've got quite a bit that we can play with. It's Bluetooth connectable there, mobile Bluetooth. You've got different languages, you can change it to kilometers, you can have a play with that. That is very, very good. I've got to say, at this price point, that's exceptional. The only thing that makes me more disappointed though is this is the screen the more expensive bike should have got. Now looking around the bike, I've got to say, very similar to the first QJ motor that I've gone round. However, the screen on this is better, and I find that a bit of a shock considering the first bike I did from QJ was £2,999, and I stand by, that's an absolute bargain. That bike, it really is. For a sports bike, it is a great price. This one, £500 cheaper at £2,499, and it's got a better screen and it's got the same amount of horsepower. It looks like it's very, very similar, just doesn't have all of that fairing, so it obviously doesn't look the same. But so far I think I'm liking this more, and that's mainly down to the fact that it's going to be more comfortable, more sat up straight, and it's £500 cheaper with a better screen. Now, if it performs anywhere near that sports bike, then yeah, I might have a new favourite on my hand from QJ. But let's go and find out. That's the walk round done. Let's go for a ride. Let's give this a little twist. Feels comfortable. Yeah, not an issue with that. I'm quite happy in the seating position. The cobbles, yeah, not an issue for it. It's actually soaking those up nicely. The position is nice, but that screen, let me get the sun on it. There's quite a lot. If we get to like there, if the sun shines at it, I don't know if it comes across on the camera. I hope it does, because through my eyes I can see nothing. So I don't know whether you'd need to get one of those like anti-glare covers or something to go over that, because if the sun catches it right, you just can't see anything. That's not great, but it's an easy fix. I've seen that quite a lot with a couple of the new Bonellis, but it's an easy fix. Like I say, it is literally just like putting a screen protector over. Nice through the gears. Bearing in mind, again, this is a brand new motorcycle with brand new tyres, so I am going to be taking it easy, because whilst there's a bit of blue sky out, there's still wet patches on the road. So yes, I am going to test it as well as I possibly can given the conditions. Tell you what I will do, because I can't do my usual speed test. I can't do a 0 to 60 thrashing of this bike because it is brand new and it's not been ran in. It wouldn't be fair. But what I will do is I'll see how fast it picks up speed 0 to 30, but I'm not going to be redlining it. I'm just curious as to, you know, how quick you can jump into traffic, because Traffic, yeah, well, it's a typical town centre that you've got across the UK. Traffic is always going to be busy this time of day. So let's see, we'll do a 0 to 30. In fact, yeah, it goes to a 40 down there, so we might take it up to 40. But it's clear, let's go. Yeah, it does feel quite sprightly actually. Visor down, wind's in my face. Yeah, it does feel fairly nippy. I am noticing something on this that I didn't notice on the other one, and that is I'm getting a slight bit, and it's only slight, but it's a slight bit of vibration just on my left foot peg. Not on the right one, just on the left one. But there isn't any vibration coming through the bars, nothing at all. There's nothing through the seat either, and even on idle you can see there is nothing like coming through the mirrors either. They're perfectly fine. But it's nice round the bends as well. Again, new rubber, so I'm not going too daft, but yeah, it's nice, feels nice and light to move about. Let's test the brakes. Yeah, the brakes are alright. Today is just an initial impressions ride on this bike, just to get a little bit of a feel for it, and all I can say is, yeah, it's a comfortable bike. There is a slight bit of vibration through the pegs. There's nothing through the seat, nothing through the bars. It goes through the gears very, very nicely. The screen, like now, it's sunny, I can see it perfectly, but if you do get a direct hit with the sun, yeah, there's just a lot of glare there that takes the screen away from you pretty much. You can't see what it is. So that is probably for me as negative as it's going to get, and as I've said, it's just like getting something like a mobile phone screen protector. That's all it is. It's just something like that. In fact, you can see it now, doing it now. See there? I'll try and put the camera where my eyes are, because you just get this like proper glare, and yeah, you can't see it, but it's not all the time. And in the UK, it's not all the time. We get that yellow thing in the sky. There's usually clouds surrounding it. So it is only going to be for those really odd, really bright, sunny days, which just happens to be today. And if I'd have gone out in a cloudy day, I would never have known. Traffic, traffic, traffic. And that's the good thing about one of these little light, nimble bikes. You can do a little bit of sneaking down the side, and they are easy and yeah, very easy to maneuver through traffic and past traffic. But that, again, it's a 125 trait, isn't it? That's why I always think these smaller capacity motorcycles are brilliant for town centre riding like this, because they're just easier. I mean, I've got big bikes, but you're riding a big bike and you're riding it slowly through town centres, trying to negotiate all the traffic. It is more difficult, and it is kind of unnecessary a lot of the time, because a smaller capacity bike, you will do the same speed, you'll just do it easier because it's lighter and more manageable, and yeah, they are smaller to get through those smaller gaps. So yes, 125s are brilliant for it, they really are. So I'm back at Moto. So what we've got is a bike that costs £2,499, so it kind of sits in with the very cheap motorcycles, and yet it's got a TFT screen, it's got 15 horsepower, it's a nice comfortable bike, it looks quite nice, it's got USB ports, it's got everything that you really need out of a 125, and it's at that budget price. Now, looking around the bike, I think the fittings and everything on it look nice. The buttons are just what you would expect from a bike of this price point. You know, you don't feel like you're on a bike worth £5,000, but you're not on a bike worth that. You're on a bike that's worth half that. It's a very good option, and if it's one that you want, I'll put a link in the description for Moto. But yeah, an enjoyable bike to ride. Yeah, I don't think there's more to say about it. Yeah, have a look in the description if you want more details. For now, I will catch you on the next one. Laters.
YouTube. Oh yeah, he's a killer. That's right.